crazy one-legged old man in a wheelchair here, and we are live, and this is going to be on our segments of cooking with cannabis, and I really feel like it's going to be a pretty interesting setup here, and making sure that we're kind of coming out here. So I've got a bunch of different monitors and feeds on this. I'll show you some of the setup we got going on real quick. We got basically 16 different camera setups, and on that, and then we have two more on this pedestal and one in our hand. We'll have two on the wheelchair right here. They are all right, which will aim basically we're at me, and also at what I'm looking at. Let's see here. There's the one on me. That's where it sees me now. All right. And then the one that that's the one that shows what I'm looking at. So should be pretty interesting. All right. Now, cooking with cannabis. So first thing, you have to have some cannabis. Now, that's not really cannabis there. That is CBD that's been ground up, CBD flower, and it's ground up right there. And which is basically the same plant. I can show you with that. I'm not going to show you today. This is what we're going to be making. All right. This is infused butter. And this here is an extract. It's a THC extract, and that came directly from the flower. It was extracted from the flower, and then we bottled it up. All right. When you infused something like the butter or olive oil, or maybe a honey or salt or something else, whatever, then you're mixing up you're pulling the essence out of the leaf itself and putting it into whatever substance you want it in, like I said, butter or whatever. So we're going to do that next week. This week I don't have my network cables that I need to hook all this up so that you can watch seamlessly as I go through the steps. You'll be able to follow me on one camera and then to another and then to another. I'll be able to pull those clips up as I go through it, so it should be pretty interesting. I've worked on this for quite some time, so I'm very proud that I've got it this far. All the products, first thing I want to do is I want basically a disclaimer on what's going on here. All right, everything, all THC products are legally sourced for me in the state of Louisiana, in Shreveport, Louisiana. I get my medical marijuana at the pharmacy. I get my THC from a reputable source it's tested and is pure, and it has no it's not over the limit on the THC. It's 0.003% THC, which is nil, and it has pretty high CBD value. The different medical marijuanas we'll be using, some of them will be quite high in THC. I like sativas, so that's what I'm going to be using mostly of is sativas, and but you can use whichever variety that you like, and you can use more THC than I use, or you can use less THC than I use, and the same thing with the CBD. I use a mixture of both because that's the way I like to do it, because CBD is it's almost like the contributing factor to THC. I don't know what you'd call it, but it makes it a lot less aggressive. So you're not just roasty toasty, you're just getting the good out of it and not all the side effects. Because that's why I switched to using this in my recovery rather than pharmaceutical. And I want to call them head pills, Zoloft and Xant, the whole 9 yards, the whole list of them. And I quit taking those and started using this instead because this didn't affect me near as harshly as the pharmaceutical medicines that they were prescribing me, that were doing and what they were causing me, the problems they were causing me, and I wasn't being able to think in the whole 9 yards. So this has really got me, carried me a long way in my recovery. And when I say my recovery, I'm recovering from pretty much everything. I have some respiratory issues, some mental issues. I have some substance issues. I have been a substance abuser pretty much my whole life, and I didn't start off with marijuana either. I started off with alcohol. Started stealing extracts from mom's kitchen, and putting those in my sodas and getting drunk on extracts. And it was not a very good drunk, but I thought it was pretty cool. So, but and then later on, I did start using marijuana as a drug. I was smoking it with my brother, and we'd smoke and go out in the desert, and we'd shoot guns and hunt rattlesnakes and hunt coyotes and all what have you out there in West Texas, and just had us a good old time. And so he's gone now, but that's beside the point. And this because this is about cooking with marijuana, cooking with cannabis, cooking with THC, cooking. We're going to be cooking with CBD. We're going to cook with all of it. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to learn how to infuse and how to make extracts. Because when you learn how to infuse and you can learn how to make extracts, then you can cook any way you want. And then you got 3 different varieties right there. You got the natural product itself, the flour. You have the extract, which is pulled from the flour, and then you got the infusion, which takes the essence of the flour and infuses it with another substance like butter, olive oil, 9 yards, the whole 9 yards. That's used in sauces and all kinds of stuff. But we're going to be using sous vides. We're going to be using little cooktops. We're going to be using beakers. We're going to be using agar. We're going to be using powdered products like powdered peanut butter, powdered chocolate, of course. We're going to be using fruits and vegetables and meats and sauces and rice and the whole 9 yards before it's over with. We're going to be doing some good eating. All right. I was having trouble eating for the longest time, and especially when I tried one more time to do my little 12. Of course, and my sponsor said, you got to quit smoking that pot. That's what the problem is. That's why you're having trouble. That's yada, yada, yada. And I was like, okay. So I followed that rule. Next thing I knew, I was taking more pharmaceuticals again, all right, to help make me eat, to help keep my PTSD under wraps, the whole 9 yards, to help me, just everything. And I said, no, man, this is not working. And everybody kept telling me, well, marijuana is a gateway drug. Well, marijuana never reached out and grabbed me anytime ever and said, hey, you need to try this cocaine. Never has marijuana ever came to me and said, you need to do that. It was always the person that was bringing me the marijuana. All right, so I've taken that person completely out of my circle. Where I get my medical marijuana, they don't sell cocaine, and they don't sell pills, and they don't sell anything else other than THC products and CBD products. So I'm pretty safe going there that I'm not going to get on something else by doing that. I've also made up my mind, all right, that I'm recovering, and I have pretty much recovered from my addictions. All right, that doesn't mean I can't go back. I could go fall right back in it, but for right now, I am in remission. All right, and it doesn't bother me to have that bottle of Everclear sitting on my carving board that I'm going to use. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with it. And I'm going to use it to make my extracts. All right, it doesn't bother me a bit to have that out there. It doesn't bother me a bit that I found a vintage bottle of Jägermeister in my deep freeze. That booger's probably been in there 15 years. So I put it right back in there. I said, well, it's not hurting me in there. It hadn't bothered me for 15 years. I don't think it's going to bother me anymore. So I just left it in there. No problem. It hasn't bothered me a bit. It never reaches out, never calls me, never talks to me, nothing. I mean, shoot. Sometimes I open up the deep freeze and don't even know it's in there again. And, so be it. Doesn't bother me a bit. My medical marijuana and my usage of that it's pretty slim, but I use it for what I need to use it for, and it really helps me out tremendously. I my start of cooking with medical marijuana or cooking with cannabis back in the day. All right. I was using doing it like this. I would get the cannabis, and I would wait for this thing because it's slow as Christmas. There we go. Toot Sweet Green. My idea of cooking with THC and cannabis back then was you doing the cannabis and then cooking, and that was cooking with cannabis. And then I went to grew up and got a little older, and we started cooking with cannabis. Meant throwing a quarter bag of dirt weed, homegrown, whatever we could get, Acapulco Gold, some Sinsemilla, and then skunkweed, and it all progressed through the years. And we'd take a quarter bag of that or whatever and throw it in a brownie batch, and we had brownies, and that was our that was the extent of our cooking with cannabis. And now today, it's a whole new deal. Cook anything you want. You can use the product in many different ways that we never even thought of way back then. The extracts have a very pungent grass, weed taste, where the infusions have more of the terpene taste, such as if it's an orange or whatever, you're gonna get the orange herbal taste, and as much as or more than the cannabis taste, where the extracts are just the opposite. You're gonna get a lot of cannabis taste. I got extracts that will actually just make you feel like you put a handful of bud flower in your mouth and chewed them up. But they really, when used properly, it tastes very good with your food. And it also brings on a natural hunger for people like me that have trouble eating and what have you. It brings on a natural hunger and makes you want to just have another bite, maybe in seconds, which is something that I need in my recovery today, because I was in the hospital for quite some time and actually got down to, a month or so ago, I was down right around 100 pounds. Now, through cooking with cannabis and some protein supplements in my my diet, I'm back up now. I'm bumping 116, maybe 117. Woohoo! It doesn't sound like much, but it's a whole lot for me. And it makes me feel a whole lot better. And I'm very proud to be at that 116 pounds. Let me tell you what, because I had the sexy body of a 12-year-old with hair. That was the only thing difference. But I looked like an adolescent child when I would take my shirt off, my little skinny ass arms and everything else. The only thing was I had a hairy chest and a hairy arms. And so if you can imagine a hairy child, that's about what I looked like. Just a hairy child. I mean, it wasn't very good at all. But now I'm starting to come around starting to look like a naturally an old man, which is not too bad because I am officially an old man now. So I've already gone 15 minutes now. So next week, all right, I want y'all to join me at the same time on Friday. All right, I will have my network cables set up. I will have the network all set up. I will have all the clips, all the cameras and everything set up, ready to roll. All right, and I would like for you to join me with our cooking with cannabis session that we have next week. And if you want to join in and can go cook right along with us, that'd be great. Or if you want to pick up and watch the podcast later and follow it then, that's fine too. So get you 7 grams, 3.5 to 7 grams of good quality THC flower. If you're in a state that is legal for recreational, you can get it, pretty much at any of the dispensaries. All right. If you're in states that is medically legal, then you'll want to go to your pharmacies and get it from there. Don't get this. It's not something you get off the street. I'm not promoting any kind of illegal activity whatsoever. Everything is 100% legal and across above board. All right. And this is how I do my recovery. This is how I stay off of hard drugs. This is how I recover from PTSD. This is how I recover from being chronically, all right, see, it's not even chronic anymore. I can't even remember what it is. It's wonderful that I can't even think of it because that's all I could think of for years and months. And I can't even tell you how long was being paranoid. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. Before I could have pulled out paranoid right away because everybody would have said, man, you're just being paranoid, because I was paranoid. At times I was afraid to leave the house. And now I'm not paranoid anymore. And I don't go running around leaving the house a whole lot anymore, because I just don't have the need, and I have a lot to do around here. And it's just, there's nothing for me out there anymore. I'm not chasing stuff. I'm not chasing girls. I'm not chasing drugs. I'm not chasing whatever. I'm not chasing anymore. So I can pretty much do anything I want right here at the house, right here in my suite, because I'm building that up to take care of me as my COPD gets worse, to help me take care of myself. So join me next week. Be nice to yourself. Be nice to somebody else. Do something for God, and say a prayer. We'll say a prayer before we go, and then we'll get back to this next week. You get your supplies ready. 3.5 to 7 grams of your flour. If you want to infuse butter, have you some butter, and it's better if it's clarified. When the butter I will have next week will be clarified butter, and if you don't know how to clarify butter, then it's probably on YouTube somewhere you can find out. So clarify you some butter, all right, and maybe get you some olive oil. If you want to do an extract with me, all right, get you some 100 proof or better liquor. You don't have to get a whole lot, and it's better to have, I use liquor because instead of just regular alcohol, because I feel like it's more food safe. A lot of people use rubbing alcohol and ester alcohol to make extracts. I don't make anything that is ingestible out of something like that, because that's not really an ingestible alcohol. although liquor is not really ingestible alcohol either. But what I'm talking about doing, you're not going to be getting any alcohol from it when it's all said and done. Alcohol is used to pull the THC out of the flower. So but take that 7 grams or 3.5 grams or whatever you buy, even if you get more, whatever. If you get CBD, same thing. But take that and put it in your deep freeze and leave it in your deep freeze for at least 2 days prior to Friday. Take your alcohol, put that in your deep freeze. All right, and so you can get it down to below to freezing temperatures. And now the butter, you want to clarify it and leave it out. And anything else that you're going to infuse, it doesn't have to be in the freezing temperatures. But the flour and the alcohol both need to be at sub freezing temperatures before we start. So see you next week. Say a prayer. Our Father, thank you for this opportunity we have to spread some good stuff to other people. All right, to show them what I've been able to do to help take care of myself and to help get me on a better, more spiritual way of living. Watch out for us, and like you always do. And we'll see you next week. We'll see him before that. But we'll see y'all next week. See ya.